Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball, presented by the U.S. Air Force. The midpoint of a season brings challenges, not only the push of the opponents, but also the wear and tear of the title chase. Those on top must turn to the reserve tank and keep the revs high. Others must refuel and shift to a higher gear in hopes of making some passes before the finish line. We dump the clutch and race into week 3 of Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball right now. A look at our top 10 leaderboard updated from our previous match. All the points already in there, but Dania de la Cruz Mejia with the advantage. Brittany Abercrombie and everyone in this match number 2, Team Drews, Team Abercrombie, trying to chase their way up during this individual title championship. We are in week 3. Frenemies Volume 2. Here we go, everybody. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympian Key Michael once again. First journey for each of these two clubs. Key, how do these two teams, either of them, start 1-0?
Well, we saw Team Abercrombie so hot last week, but the not-so-secret was balance. I need to see Temi Thomas-Ailara step up into that offensive role, because on the other side, Drews and Nunaviller could have a field day if not.
All right, let's take a look at the captains. We'll focus on them. Abercrombie up first. She has pushed her way to the top of the championship chase.
She is one of the best players, if not the best opposite in the league. She's becoming a household name around these parts for good reason. A highly effective pin. Solid run with Betty in week 1, and we wondered how she would fare on her own. She surpassed all expectations last week, even beating her former captain in record-setting fashion. Interestingly, however, her first 3 picks were a middle, a libero, and a setter, so I just wonder how that strategy might fare for her tonight.
On the other side, Danny Drews, lefty on the left.
Back in the captain's seat, and it looks good on her. Danny Drews is a consistent presence in all areas of her game, and last week she put herself solidly on the map and back into the chase for the championship again this year. She picked up Brooke Nunaviller with her first pick, and the two of them could be a new power couple in town.
A look at those captains, and you really get a picture here. Danny Drews, an effective and challenging outside hitter. Brittany Abercrombie has been top shelf.
Yeah, 3 kills a set. That's pretty decent there for Danny, but 5.2 from the opposite, Brittany Abercrombie. She is just, every time she gets a chance to score, she has so many weapons. So fun to watch.
Ruthless efficiency is what you can expect to see here for Brittany Abercrombie as we will get started. Team Drews in purple, Team Abercrombie in the black and gold, signifying the leader having picked the team. And it is Temi Thomas-Ailara immediately on the right-hand side getting the start. And that's what I wonder is she going to remain all the way around, or will we see that Temi Thomas-Ailara combination that we saw last week alongside number 15, Allison Mayfield? Paige can't quite reach that one. First points for Danny Drews. She's hoping to have just as good a night as her brother, Cody Barton, last night. Forced a fumble, thought he returned it for a touchdown, called back. Then he got an interception returned for a touchdown, and his team won. The Denver Broncos dominant. A football and volleyball family.
Hope he's watching tonight then. Give some of that good juju to his sister.
He better be. That ball off of his sister and out of bounds. Some lefty on lefty violence. Abercrombie 1 for 1.
No surprise. She's going to get a lot of ball. She's going to get a lot of options to swing. And as the captain, it's almost Alicia Childress's duty to give her that ball.
And Alicia Childress, a big story here, getting drafted early and put in as that ball is terminated immediately by Brooke Nunaviller, that balancer who are waiting to have an explosive match. But on the other side, Alicia Childress, that early pick, what do you think about Alicia Childress as a full-time starter?
Well, Abercrombie herself mentioned she's a veteran. She is somebody, sorry, ace by Caffey. Got to give some flowers to the middle blocker whenever she gets an opportunity to ace. Good point on the board there.
Are those roses or sunflowers? What are we going with?
I'll give her tulips.
Okay. Perfect pass, delivery, and a sharp angle from the captain, Abercrombie. Already you're getting a picture of what's been going on for 2 weeks running.
And there's an answer to your question right there. She wanted Alicia Childress in that role because of the experience she had. She is somebody who has so much respect for this setter, chose her immediately off the board because she wanted someone who's been there, seen a lot of action in the volleyball world.
Berkeley Oblad getting the start. The Utes reunited here. Number 34, her first action in the league as a starter. Missed connection there with McCage, and McCage generally in the middle that runs a lot of behind attacks, this time in front.
And McCage, interestingly, a big part as well of that big run that Abercrombie had in that last set against Betty's team last weekend. McCage in the defense and in the offense, crucial.
There's the backslide. That's her comfort zone.
Yeah.
Molly McCage, a Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball mainstay, 4th season now. Leadership role for her, head of the PEC, that's the Players Executive Committee. Comes in 15th place overall. That ball a little bit tight. Nunaville are trying to reset it, and Payne can't quite get enough of it on the third contact. Count the point for Team Abercrombie.
Just starting to watch some patterns unravel, showing what's happening. I mean, there's both these two teams have strong players on each side, but how they attack each other, how they get their strengths paired up with another's weaknesses is exactly what's going to be important. Molly McCage, one of the biggest, best blockers in the league. How does she shut down that outside attack? That's how. Watches the ball early, gets in position, and throws Nunaville a very difficult spot.
A service to follow. Lindsay Van de Weyde, also another player we're waiting for a super breakout match for the very capable number 8.
Targeting straight between Danny Drews and Mary Lake.
Old Pac-12 showdown there as Drews will tip out of the back row. Childress throws it up. Ilara inside. Swiss Army knife in attack. Looking for hands. Nothing called for the moment. Team Abercrombie extending their lead. They double up 8-4. 5-0 run.
And interesting, a couple of times now, Nunaville hasn't been able to score. She was #1 pick for Danny Drews for her scoring ability.
Huge stuff block the other way. So both teams already lighting it up with some blocks, adding +12 to those individual scores. That was Timmy Thomas Ilara picking that one up. A 9-4 out of the gate sprint from Team Abercrombie, wasting no time. Wearing the gold and playing like it in set 1. Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. The #1 seed starting with a #1 seed kind of performance. 9-4 Abercrombie over Drews. Savannah Collins, third member of our crew, checking in.
If you watch Brittany Abercrombie in warm-ups, it will tell you a lot about who she is as a hitter. When she's going through those lines, she's not trying to bounce balls off the ground. Even with no defense, no block, she is taking smart shots. She is picking out what she needs to be able to do in that match. And does the stats tell the story of who she is? If you look at week 1 compared to week 2, her swing, she took 5 less attempts in week 2. Somehow managed to have 2 more kills. But this is a stat that really stands out to me. Just 4 errors in 118 swings. That's why she's so impressive. She knows that that's what makes her great, and it's what she needs to do to be effective for her team. Is she has to get up there and be aggressive in the moment when it comes to needing a point, but also being the type of hitter who is going to win because she's going to be smart at the net every time.
That's a great point, Savannah. I think sometimes we think about players in terms of how many kills they've had. We forget that the errors, not only in terms of the points on the leaderboard, but also just being that efficient player is so crucial.
Payne rejected. Temi Thomas-Ailara already with 1 stuff block. Dig by Hentz. Ailara down the line and good. She's been an offensive revelation, and the run continues now 7-0.
So some of our questions being answered already. Temi Thomas-Ailara just kind of working her way into some starting lineups in the last couple of weeks.
Last couple of matches.
Yeah.
Well, that was your call that she needed to step up, and she absolutely has. You see the score on the scoreboard. Backslide McCage. Little paintbrush there. Looked like an eggshell. Maybe a semi-gloss, not sure. Backslide again. That time blocked and back on the line.
I'm also really curious to see how Berkeley Oblad fares after having sat out the entire first 2 weeks, has not touched the court at all. Now in a starting role. That's a big move. Yeah,
the Henderson, Nevada native who went to Utah. Now been out a few years, been playing professional volleyball. AU debut for her after playing for the Vegas Thrill. Alongside whom? Oh yeah, Molly McCage right there. So 2 middles who are very familiar with one another across the net here.
Teammates to frenemies, story of the night.
It is. Welcome to Frenemies Friday. Athletes Unlimited style. Bad pass. Nunaviller barely gets there. Abercrombie playing the defense for all the offense we talk about. Lake underneath that one. And that tip is not covered.
All right, a strategy is starting to form here from the purple side. Get Abercrombie on the floor. That's 2 times in the same play that she's had to go to the floor. Nunaviller putting that really wide. They just don't want her in the offense at all.
They're going to serve Temi Thomas-Ailara as well, and tip over the top that time from Page is good. Page and McCage back together again for the 2nd week in a row. They were kind of trading roles last week.
Yeah, and I like that combo. I think they're both versatile middles. I think we talked to somebody in the last match in a chair chat, was either Tori, who was it that we had the middles, talking about how important it is to be versatile as a middle. You can't just say, oh, I only hit in front, and that's it. Or I only like the slide, and that's it. You gotta do a little bit of everything.
It's Kaz Brown.
Thank you. My brain is a little foggy.
Who goes with Tori Dixon often. We've seen that combo a number of times as we see the McCage-Page combo for the 2nd week in a row. Sydney Hilly back to serve. That'll be 3 hitters in the front row. Looking for a touch, not getting it. And there is Molly McCage jumping in the chair. Molly, how has this match started so well for Team Abercrombie?
I think it's pretty well. Our blocking is just incredibly impressive. I love how the lineups, our pin blockers are making really good lineups, so it's easy for me to just close and get some blocks.
What was the serving strategy for you guys coming in? There's a block going the other way.
All 3 of these passers don't love balls to get them up high. You know, even Mary, who's a wonderful passer as a libero, but like that hard-driven deep ball is really hard to pass, so that's what our focus is.
I love that we get to chat to the middles while they're out of breath, and I'm sitting here on the sidelines not out of breath. I love that for me. But who is the #1 objective when it comes to going blocking? Who are you looking at first?
On the other side, like the hitters?
Exactly.
Oh, I needed a goal of mine to like really do a good job of getting in front of Kayla Caffey. Her arm is so fast and she like floats in the air. So just picking good spots and then just getting over quick because I just totally respect her as a middle.
Molly, we've seen you a couple times in front of the setter. We know your comfort zone is behind. How would you grade your efficiency? How much bigger is it when you go that back slide?
Oh gosh, it's my comfort zone. I love running this slide. It's just, it's such a rhythm set, you know, and Alicia's one of my favorite setters to hit off of, so I don't know, we just find a flow, and we're struggling a little bit right now, but we'll find it, and there's already so much trust there, but like, that's where I live, slides.
All right, go back to your house. Thanks, Molly.
Have a sip. Get some water. It really is McCage's house.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, we talk about it being Molly McCage's world and we're just living in it, but really, she's such an integral member of Athletes Unlimited.
When Brooke was swinging on the pipe, yeah.
All right, so we have a challenge here. Remember, 2 challenges per team per set. Danny Drew's explaining the challenge to Rachel Rodriguez, our R1. Lena Gustafson is going to go ahead and step into the booth and look for a net violation. And you have to clarify which part of the rally you are challenging, because the rallies can go on for quite some time.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I cannot focus on 2 things at once, so I have no idea what was happening while we were chatting middles with Molly.
Well, it's not easy being a goldfish. So first challenge, you cannot save them, you cannot spend them later, you don't get to put them in your pocket, you just have to use them in any given set. Well, that ball is obviously off the net. Now, to be clear, the ball cannot force the net into the blocker.
Right.
And then that be a net violation.
Exactly. So I don't see a violation there.
I don't either. If anything, it's simultaneous contact if there was contact at all.
But it would be fault of the ball moving the net, not the blockers touching the net.
That would be my interpretation of it. We will wait and see what Lena Gustafson has to say as she exits the booth. And that ball will remain. So challenge defeated. Team Drews has 1 challenge remaining. Team Abercrombie continues to have 2, as well as a 3-point lead. Kevin Barnett alongside Savannah Collins on the sidelines, and one Olympian Key Michael here in the booth. Second of 2 matches on a Friday night. Thanks for being with us. Caffey with the pass. Golden side with the dig. Abercrombie looking for the little roll shot. Can't find it. Second time, push. Nunneviller reaching in. A lot of defense happening and a lot of tipping. Boy, off speed again. Paige collects it.
And Paige not super comfortable with that contact, but it's interesting that we heard Molly saying that Alicia Glass, one of her favorite setters to hit off of. I wonder if she had a bit of conversation happening in that draft Zoom room. She was one of the first off the board. She could have a say in who gets picked next.
Now remember, no matter whether you take a big swing or you tip the ball, it's still the same +8 points for a kill. And if you tip out or if you hit out, it's still going to be -12 for an attack error. So we will have Kelsey Payne taking a -12 on that. That's kind of a big L. And be careful with your errors. Ball into the middle once again, Hence underneath it. Middle back. Ilara looking for the corner. It is called long. So that delivery coming from Alicia Childress, who is in that draft position, that starter spot for the first time this season. Savannah, you learned a little bit more about how that came down.
Totally key. You wondered, what was the thinking in drafting Alicia this week? Well, one is that she creates a big block. She's one of the tallest setters in the league right now. Brittany Abercrombie really wanted to prioritize that this week, what she brings to the front row, and the fact that they actually train together in Orange County. So not only is there the familiarity with Molly McCage, they're a great connection, but Brittany Abercrombie and Alicia Childress have that on their own too. They work together coming into the season. And the third little nugget I'll give you is that she's so fast overhead. So Brittany knew that they would have a great connection in that way, and she needed Molly to be comfortable in an integral part of the offense, and that's what Alicia specializes in.
All right, it's running well here in the first set as Alicia digs that one out of the bottom of the tape. Difficult technical play there. Lake bump set. Nunneviller, big, strong approach, and she says that's when she's at her best.
Yeah, Nunneviller loves a strong 1-2 step to finish. She is really driven by that sort of process more than the outcome. So watch her feet as she moves to the ball. She's not waiting to see where it goes. She's getting there underneath it.
Left-handed swing, that'll be off the block. A Berkeley Oblad and another kill. Brittany Abercrombie, again, terrifyingly efficient for the opponent here in set number 1. That has been the story since she joined the league. This is her first opportunity to play in Athletes Unlimited. Drews blocked. And there is the taller Alicia Childress.
Great call by Savannah there. Brought in for so many reasons, and one we hadn't even thought about, the height in the block. She's able to step close. She's taken away that angle from Drews. A great pick so far by Abercrombie is Alicia Childress.
18-12, timeout called by Team Drews. Remember how important these set scores are, not only for the 40 team points you get via the set victory, but also for that overall chase. You can really set yourself up to have an easy third set and the overall victory if you're efficient through the first 2. And this is our second match of 2 on the evening. Let's take a look back at match number 1. Betania de la Cruz Mejia, La Betania Grande in action. And as usual, excellent.
Yeah, as per usual, no surprise there. She had 18 points and she killed 17 of them. So she was an offensive weapon for her own side, even having lost Memba Monet, her right-hand woman, and she was making her pay for being on the other side. I love the way that Betty just steps up. She has such range when she attacks. You see her going off hands, into corners, cross shots. Her team was defense first and then offense to back it up.
All right, well, it's nice to get those team wins. It's fantastic to have your own stats be terrific, but it's also even more to have the respect of your fellow athletes who vote on the MVPs. As we take a look at our Match 1 MVPs brought to you by the U.S. Air Force. Betania de la Cruz Mejia, no surprise there, but you really love that second pick right there.
I mean, we talked her up the entire match because she was having a night. She was keeping balls off the floor. That's obviously the role of the libero, but she was enjoying it while she was doing it. And we talk a lot about Japanese defense and their style of play in Japan. She embodies it. They are fast, they're scrappy, and they just love it.
She became the Kojima during the match because she was absolutely everywhere. There were no kills to be had into the angle. Just ask Maddie Kingdon-Rischel. And then, like us remember, Monet, who was really efficient in transition, particularly had herself a good night in that second set where they won, takes home MVP 3 honors. All right, fall is officially here, even in Arizona. The AU Pro Shop has you covered with the latest volleyball gear. Check out our online store at shop.auprosports.com. It is the destination for players, merchandise, new arrivals, and exclusive styles you won't find anywhere else. There are a few shirts light. Word is a gentleman ran out of the store with a bunch of merchandise last week. Stay tuned to Key's socials to see a little pickup on that storyline.
He was tall, he was 6'6". We'll get away with it.
Yeah, sunglasses, there was no positive ID. Come on and get some gear to support any one of your players. They have the entire 44-team roster, including that of Danny Drews, formerly Danny Barton, back in the start of her Utah days. See what Team Drews can do here to come back. Remember how important every single point is, not just if you win the set or not. An incredible cover there by Lake. Molly McKay just having none of it. She's in her house. She's in a comfy bed. Has the blankets pulled up the temperature just right and putting you to sleep.
Molly McKay she hits another level sometimes. And when you see it, it's so beautiful.
Overpass. McCage, yeah. So Molly McCage with 16 individual points via 2 kills in her last 2 actions. And her side is up 8.
Comfy. She's wearing her socks. That's it. That's her comfort zone right there. Overpass.
Gooseneck and overpasses. Oh, that ball is in. That is Payne at her best, which she can use her length. So what was 20-12 becomes 20-13. Becca Latham comes in. She'll come in at the opposite spot, and in the double sub will be Gabby Blossom, the one-time USD star. She's been doing a lot of service sub. Here she'll get to actually set. Run the offense, backslide McCage. Blossom with the defense. Lake to Latham, welcome to the match, and that's a kill for number 78, the Austin native.
I like Gabby Blossom as well, taking that first ball. She hesitated almost stepped away from, then said, no, let me just grab it and let the libero do the set. You have to be confident in those moments.
Backslide again. Keep going to that well. Lake with the dig. A lot of water references there. Nunaviller over the top. And I'll tell you what, I talked to teacher Collins Parker after the last match. She said we missed out on our adjustments. That's how we took the L from Bethania de la Cruz Mejia. And Savannah Collins, you have more on what Team Drews is doing to adjust in this first set.
Totally. The big thing they said is, hey, we are letting this team go on too many runs. If we're going to let them do that, it's going to be hard to work back into this game. They said play together, come together here. And I went and looked at the runs. This gold squad went on a 7-point run once they reached double digits. They called the timeout, and they continued on a 4-point run. It's been tough for this purple team to come back when they just continue to put away.
Well, they're working on their own 4-point run right here. Savannah behind the capable play of Blossom with an ace earlier. Can they play their way back in again? Maybe. Another good touch on the block. Full complement of offense. Oblad cannot make contact. Drews pass. She'll get it right back. And gets stuffed. Molly McCage is going to pick up 12 personal points and put them, I don't know, at her dresser, maybe the hutch, maybe downstairs in the kitchen. Wherever she is in her house, she's got more points.
I think she's been one of the game changers so far. You know that she was when she played on Abercrombie's side last time, and that is exactly why she's the first pick. She is making it so tough for Drew's side to score. She's everywhere on the net. Vandewide
is going to pick up another service ace there. We'll see how the official scorer has it, but already with one for Team Abercrombie. And Vandewide taking shape here, waiting for it to drop in, but nevertheless the point goes to her side, and they're at 22. Yeah, 2 aces credited. Oh, nice dig, Nunaviller. Off blocker action. She'll have to try it again. She won't get a shot. Tenny Thomas Ilara through Latham.
Molly McCage, top scorer right now. Temi Thomas Ilara right behind her. Those two are doing a great job of making this offense and defense run on the gold side.
Temi Thomas Ilara played for Wisconsin at the end of her collegiate career. She's headed back there with League One volleyball. Going to play in Madison. Blossom just reached that one, and it somehow found the back line. We don't really have a food reference or any sort of other weird volleyball term for that play. It's just a point.
Pineapple? Waffle.
That's the setter.
Cheeseburger.
McCage with the pass, and she's down on the ground. Doesn't much matter, does it? The offense clicking. Purple women scrambling. Drews roll. Abercrombie dig. Push to the corner, picked up. Drews, everything she has, too high, too far, out of bounds. Set point, Team Abercrombie. Boy, an 8-point lead would be monstrous coming out of the first set for the overall.
Do we have a challenge here? Fanny Drews doesn't even look convinced of her own.
Still have one more if you're Team Drews, but you do have to identify a play.
I think they're talking about that final contact being a touch, perhaps.
And maybe a touch in the back row. All right, Danny Drews will burn her second challenge of the set. May as well. You're facing a match ball. If the play stands as called, she'll go over and talk to facilitator Thomas Robson. In his first season with Athletes Unlimited, he was the assistant coach at the Omaha Supernovas, the 2024 league title for the PBF. Looking for a touch on the last play there in this captain's challenge. Key.
I don't see it. Oh, Vandewide in the back court. That's what you're talking about. Interesting. Okay, so nothing on the fingertips. But watch the ball here. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not.
Vandewide kind of draws her fingers in afterwards, right? Hot potato, hot potato. Yes, indeed. Caught in the act. She got a feather on it.
You can't hide from the cameras.
So reverse it. We are not at a set point. It is 23-18. And remember that play as she's giving a smile across the net. Remember that play when we get down to perhaps a close third set for the overall. McCage passing again, that short serve. Drews another kill. So now a 2-point swing already in terms of points on the board for Team Drews.
I'm also continuing to pay attention to how many balls are going to Brittany Abercrombie in defense, whether it be a hard driven ball or a tip.
Well, this time she's coming out of the back row and painting the line. You're out of challenges. You can't challenge anything, Danny Drews. You could get an official's challenge. She's going to ask that the official challenge the play. It's an interesting strategy here.
Oh, did it work?
Oh, here it comes. Here comes the argument. She already has 2 challenges.
And Abercrombie's saying, hang on a sec. Did she just convince you to challenge it? That's not how this works.
Well. Yeah, I'd be very unhappy if I'm Brittany Abercrombie right now. And Danny Drews just talked the officials into utilizing one of their infinite challenges. Oh boy. Brittany Abercrombie, her heart rate nearly got above 80 there. And the ball out of the officials' challenge confirmed once again. So back-to-back challenges hold off a set point opportunity for Team Abercrombie, and all of a sudden what could have been a +8 opportunity for Team Abercrombie had they closed the way that the match was called at that point is nothing close to that anymore. Now the best they can do is +5. Could be huge in the overall as we work our way through our guaranteed 3 sets here in Mesa, Arizona. So finally, set point.
We'll allow it. No challenges.
No challenge.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Taylor Bruns taking root, subbed in to serve, put some pressure on him. Latham to a sprinting Blossom. Again with the tip. Key, good spot. Nobody knowing where to go. Abercrombie's available. Not yet. Drews going high, scoring again. They continue to close. Second set point opportunity coming for Team Abercrombie as they will take Taylor Bruns taking route back out. McCage will have Hens check back in for her. And Berkeley Oblad will go out for Erin Fairs, making her first appearance of the season. PEC member and longtime Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball member in her 4th AU season. Captain out of the back row, skipping it off Fairs, and that'll do it. Second opportunity to close. However, what could have been was cut completely in half. It could have been +8. They are only +4 coming out of the first set. Team Abercrombie, 40 team points, headed to the second set. Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. (25-21) in set number 1. Victory for Team Abercrombie in fine fashion. They win +4. In between sets, we have the opportunity to go into the game with the U.S. Air Force. And what's it like to be an Olympic medalist, a setter, still doing it at a high level? Alicia Childress.
Talking about Dora, problem. Whoops.
Go, Marie!
Let's go! Let's go! Very brave. It's on low, low! Yes! Yes! Yes, I love that. I'm fired up and there's so much time. But I like what you said. I'm ready to pounce on it. No, I know. We definitely split her and she just hit it to me. I was like, I'm not near you, but I'm just going to go straight up. Did she? Oh, I got it. Yeah!
back in her element, Alicia Childress. And we saw her having to play kind of a backup role the last few weeks. Now she's having so much fun in that starting role again.
Yeah, a couple of good connections for her. PBF Most Inspirational for the Vegas Thrill last year, along with Molly McCage, also assistant coach at Stanford 2019, a national championship with Morgan Hintz right there in front of her. And she is familiar with delivering the ball to number 5, and we've seen quite a bit of that already in this match.
Molly McCage saying, I love playing with Alicia Childress, and here's why. It's fast, it's high, it's kind of flat, and it's exactly where she wants it to be in order for her to be the most efficient. But where she absolutely shined so far in this match is in the blocks, as she often does. No surprises there. But I love seeing these teams come together, right? This is the first set that we've seen this gold squad in its entirety, and here's what it looks like. Blocking is a priority, 6-3 over Team Drews, and that has a lot to do with choosing someone like Molly McCage as your first pick.
Yeah, popping up those 15 kills, you're going to have 13 of them coming courtesy of Timmy Thomas Ilara with 5, so that answers your question from the top of this broadcast. Then you had with 4, Molly McCage and Brittany Abercrombie both contributing.
And I think Drews has done a really good job of taking Abercrombie out of the offense, but the questions were who would step up, and a couple of players have been doing it.
So how will Team Drews respond? Nunaviller gets them off to a good start with that high flat attack off the hands. And Savannah is our mole on the sideline. She was embedded with the purple side during the side change.
Yeah, no sense of defeat in that purple huddle. They said, let's start with that fire and grit we just finished the first set with. They talked about how, hey, we could have just rolled over and just let that set ended, and we fought our way back in even though we didn't win. The big focus when it came to strategy was anticipating the gold offense. Something I really liked is they talked about having short serves to get rid of the slide, and then anticipating the moments of how they can get in blocking order for Abercrombie and Temi, and the types of passes that this offense is tending to go to them. And they pointed that out right there, that Temi is going to find her way to the seam, and we got it close.
That's a great point, Savannah. Some short serves. That's a really good strategy right now for the purple side. Take that offensive part out of it. They've been doing a good job of taking Abercrombie out of it. Now take out Molly McCage as well.
Well, I saw Molly McCage earlier. She did pass the ball and then still run the back slide, and they still tried to run it. Interesting thing here that you're leaving Timmy Thomas Ilara all the way around. She has pretty good passing support with Hens, who I think has to be way more aggressive in the service reception. Maybe that'll help her. Hens takes this one. But Timmy Thomas Ilara has been intensely physical at the net, as we expected coming in from her performance the last time we saw her at the end of week 2.
Yeah, it's a good point you make. I think all teams, all liberos, can find ways to help out their hitters. So they have one role, in theory, in the reception, that is to take as much space as they can and let the hitters go do their thing. Specifically, when Timmy Thomas Ilara is in that position, Hens could take a little more space.
Well, listen, they are the middle linebacker. They are the Cody Barton of volleyball, all right? You have to play that position and be in charge, and you have to run the receive. And last week pointed it out, I think one outside hitter had 41 attempts, the other outside hitter had 21 attempts, and Morgan Hens had 6.
Yeah.
That tells me a libero is not being aggressive enough. Ilara, aggressive there, perfect pass. Excellent delivery, McCage in her front yard in front of the setter. So she's not inside her house, but she's still on her property.
Yeah, that's interesting. Timmy Thomas Ilara almost pushing Hens off the court there to take that ball. I like the confidence there, but I'd give that to Hens.
They're going to keep working on Drews. Everyone has in reception. Coverage that time from Nunaviller. Thomas Ilara, go to the beach.
You mean that as a compliment, right?
Absolutely.
Get out of here, go to the beach. Cheeky, crafty roll shot. I think she turned a difficult spot where she was out of system, out of rhythm, turns it into an advantage for herself.
Oblad backslide, cannot be covered.
Haley hasn't really been able to get Oblad into the offense the way I'm sure she would like to. But again, sitting out for 2 weeks, not training together, not being a part really of any of the matches. That's tough.
Oblad 1 for 5, been blocked twice, but it seems like she's taking a couple of good cuts, and there's a good dig from Hentz. Abercrombie deep swing. They were playing for that spot. Abercrombie offhand picks it up. Left inside, Childress, Hentz. Abercrombie, if you're scoring at home.
How about the defensive scrap from Abercrombie's side? Abercrombie herself having to be on the floor a couple of times, and then later on, as the rally progresses, is then gone back to as part of the offense. She's doing it all.
Little 4-point run for her side. She is at the line. Working with facilitator Dave Rubio this week is Brittany Abercrombie. The Arizona sports legend, longtime coach in Tucson. Oh, down the line, Vanda Wyda gets on that one.
Okay, Vanda Wyda. We like that look. We like that over the shoulder. The cheeky no-look attack. Watch where the block of Hilly is. Nowhere. That's why she goes that way.
Vanda Wyda's second kill. Run is at 5. Abercrombie still at the line. Childress front row. Vanda Wyda left. McCage middle. Tough serve. Lake, perfect pass. Again, the block all over. McCage resets, runs the other way, and that block over the top. Becca Latham in. And she comes up with the kill from Blossom.
And this combination was in when they went on that little run of points there at the end. So certainly a sign of positive things to come.
Latham now 27, has played in South Korea and in Greece. Had an excellent cup competition there, best scorer, as well as best spiker. So misconnection there. Drew's back within 1 here, second set. Now start watching that overall score, right? 32-27 here. Still on the strength of that first set victory, 25-21. Team Abercrombie with the advantage. Trying to go high hands, Vanda Wyda. Nunaviller does it successfully. Big approach and direction to the ball.
Nunaviller has been so quiet this match. We're used to seeing big numbers out of her. In this second set alone, she's only scored 1 point. That is very uncharacteristic of her.
There's a heavy, hard swing from Vanda Wyda.
Another thing I love watching as these matches kind of unravel, Childress, the setters in particular. What's their pattern? She's gone 3 times in a row back to Vanda Wyda.
Vanda Wyda had an incredible season last year. Single season record in win points, over 1,900 win points. That ball tipped, touched, and scored, 8-8. When one team makes a run, the other one runs right back up behind it, like a little brother following you to the store.
That's the visual.
Pushed through. Temi Thomas-Ailara wins that physical battle.
I mean, she's one of the most physical players out there. I'd like to know what her gym routine is with biceps like that. I don't think there's a lot of people that would win that joust.
Your jacket would fit me better if you had a little bit more of that going on, Key.
Exactly. Gotta get in the gym.
Abercrombie throws it. It was read by Lake. Outside. Thomas-Ailara through the block and down. She continues her exceptional play. Temi Thomas-Ailara, number 25, has 9 kills already. She's hitting north of 400. Key, how dare you lay out a question about number 25?
Well, we haven't seen enough of her to
I think
make
it was more of a statement, actually.
I'm always asking questions. I wanted to see who would step up in that role, because we've seen Abercrombie with some strong outside hitters. We just needed to know if there was going to be some production there, and it has been.
Yeah, things are arising here. And now we understand Berkeley Oblad sat down. Hey, Berkeley.
Hi, guys.
Your first action here. How are you feeling getting back into it after a couple weeks?
It's great. It's been lots of fun. We're working hard at the end of that first set and staying in it right now.
Yeah, we've seen him give you the ball a couple of times. What would turn some of those into kills for you right now?
Yeah, just trying to get a little bit higher to go over their blocks. They've got a good block set up over there, so just got to go beat them high.
What's the strategy, middle blocker to middle blocker, when you've got someone like Abercrombie on the other side of the net?
Yeah, we just got to slow her down, right? Because she's super high up there. So we got to slow her down so our back row can play some good defense and then convert to some kills in transition.
I noticed you guys are also trying to get on the floor a lot. You're putting some tips in front of her. Was that something that was talked about before the match as part of strategy?
Yeah, we want to see who we can take out to make it easier on our block, right? And so yeah, getting her on the floor and taking out one of their best attackers is helpful for our blockers.
You and Molly spent the season together. How well do you know one another?
Yeah, I say pretty well. She did get injured pretty early, so I haven't seen her play until we got back to this AU season for a while. But, you know, we talked a lot on the sidelines and got to get feedback from one another, so I feel like I know her pretty well.
All right, your side is back up. You're going back in a second. Thanks for sitting down.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Berkeley Oblad. Good to see her out there. Her side up. Oh, no. French fries on the board, courtesy of that dump there from Alicia Childress.
If Berkeley Oblad was in, she might have seen that coming. Talking about being real low, focusing on her priorities.
The mom with 3 to serve. Missed connection in the middle. They might assign that to the setter. That would be a -12 for the setter for a setting error. Those are costly, but rare.
Molly McCage as well saying she's focusing on blocking Kayla Caffey in particular. We haven't seen a whole lot of offense though out of Caffey.
And says that one come right to her. There's some set to the middle. Page cannot get it to go over the cable. 12 up. So the overall score remains 37-33 via that 4-point win in the first set by Team Abercrombie. Had no challenges in this second set. Brooke Nunaviller back. Challenges played a huge role down the stretch of set number 1. There was one from Team Drews that staved off a set point. There was one from the referees at the behest of Team Drews that staved off a set point. And all the while, Team Drews cut that lead in half.
Can you use behest in a sentence again?
Which word?
Behest.
At the behest? Key Michael has asked me to use the word once again. At the behest of Key, I will again repeat.
I need you on the whiteboard writing that out and telling us how to spell it.
You can come to my class. We have random trivia as well as Thesaurus Thursdays.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very exciting.
I wonder, just seeing Caffey there miss that serve, as a former captain.
Caffey is a former captain, yes.
Caffey was a former captain. How does that change your style of play when you're a captain one week, having drafted your own squad, you have that confidence, now you're on someone else's team. I wonder how that affects her play.
I would think it's like going from outside hitter to opposite. Always loved that because
I think you have
I'm not passing that well, but thank you. Everyone else do the job so I can just be over here and hit. So Kayla Caffey can just swing, be free, not have to be responsible for everything going on. Abercrombie +2 in the second.
After being a captain in the first round in AU that I did it, I was kind of intimidated just because I came in out of college, kind of a younger player. So this year I would definitely just want to remind myself that like we're all here with the same goal, like we want to play good volleyball. And I think also just remind myself that like I don't have to put pressure on myself as a captain because I'm surrounded by really good players who are very experienced. A good team is made when the group that you get together is bought into the same goal. Also a group that can identify strengths of the group and be able to bring those to the table because we all have different strengths to hopefully build into something that leads to success.
Well, there you go. That answers our question, what it's like to be a captain at Athletes Unlimited. And Danny Drew's saying, I'm not putting pressure on myself. She learned that in season 1, is that she'll play better if she just plays like it's any other match, like she's any other player, like not as if she's the captain and the coach. She just wants to put together a team that has pretty similar values.
Well, she started with Brooke Nuneviller at the #1 draft selection spot.
This, for me, when I saw this go off the draft, I thought these two are going to be so difficult to play against because they're quite similar style, right? You see there their numbers, 77 kills for Brooke Nuneviller, who in the first week was phenomenal. Immediately, we knew she was going to be a threat this season. However, haven't seen from them yet tonight exactly what I was expecting. This last set between the three of them, or between the two of them, only 3 points.
Here's the interesting thing I looked at too beyond those two. Payne is hitting 270, so her efficiency is much higher. And there's Payne getting the swing and getting stuffed out of bounds. She has 49 kills. She only has 140 attempts, which is almost 100 short of Nuneviller. Is 91 attempts short of Brooke Nuneviller coming in.
Yeah, well, she hasn't been relied on to be that big shoulder. She barely got any playing time in the first week on Team Nuneviller. And then last week, just a little bit more kind of creeping her way up.
Creeping their way out to a lead here in the second is Team Abercrombie. Childress, good solid defense. Van de Weyde takes another big swing. Abercrombie, pass and try and swing. Instead it's McCage out front, and she's in the street getting hit by a bicycle.
Well, that's
continuing the narrative.
We're following. I think we're following it. I'm not sure.
It was a slight collision.
It's fallen. It's fallen.
No
a little
one,
off the cliff.
no one was really injured poorly, or a lot now and then. Deep corner swing for Abercrombie.
Well, I just want to make the point we saw in that last point, something we spoke to Berkeley Oba about in her share chat, is are you focusing on taking Abercrombie out of the offense? And we saw there she had to pick up a tip, then the ball went to McCage. It was a mishandle. As soon as she's out of that first contact, she's free to swing, and it's so dangerous.
Free to swing there is Danny Drews. Nuneviller to the front row, Drews to the service line. They need to close a couple. Nuneviller in transition. Big approach, Hens runs it down. Thrown back by Childress. Hens calling it all the way. Oh, that chip shot from the back row was good.
The strategy feels like it's paying off on Drew's side. A few times in a row in that rally alone, they're chipping little roll shots, getting bodies on the floor. I mean, some impressive defense, but again, get Abercrombie off the offense.
Left side, Nuneviller cannot throw it over Abercrombie, but she's out of the attack again. Van de Weyde chisels the edge of Hilly. So Abercrombie's numbers aren't where maybe she wants them, nor where they have been, certainly. But her team, nevertheless, is leading 43-37, and in this second set.
And get this, Temi Thomas-Ailara, top scorer right now. That's not what you would expect on an Abercrombie side.
Well, Temi Thomas-Ailara And that draft pick in the 4th round looking pretty good. Cage finally gets a good connection. The phone line worked out of the house to Alicia Glass. Childress, if you're counting at home. She successfully made the transition. It was Alicia Glass, then it was Alicia Glass Childress, now it's Alicia Childress. I think everyone's aware she's still the bronze medalist from the U.S. national team and longtime international star.
So you're suggesting that everyone unhyphenate their names. Make it easier on us, folks.
They can do whatever they want. Nunaviller would like to hit that ball in 20-17. That would probably be what she wants.
The question for me is, if Nunaviller and Drews are not in their top form, where does purple go from here?
Got to be Payne, doesn't it? There's Kathy with a rare opportunity. Abercrombie trying to pull down the line. Knew the moment she contacted it that it was not going to be good.
Savannah talked about it earlier. Not a player that makes a lot of mistakes.
Kayla Cathy with just 6 attempts. 3 kills, been blocked twice. Ilara holding up in reception and making some smart choices. 21-18. They stretched out at 15-13. They basically have not given it back. Team Abercrombie. Cathy again misses. The leading blocker in Athletes Unlimited coming into tonight has that one go wide. Looking for hands and the back line. I think she got both. Might see a challenge here.
To your point about Kayla Cathy not having great connection, she hasn't played yet with Sydney Hilly. She hasn't had a chance for that connection to really grow. And that's something we talk a lot about in Athletes Unlimited, is how important it is, because it's such a quick simulation that they are in. You have to get that right off the bat, find ways to connect, but it's so tough.
So here we are at the end of a set. Abercrombie leading, and Drew's calling for challenges. They successfully reversed 2 plays earlier, and they reverse another here, over 20 in the waning moments of a set. Here they're closer. Can they scratch and claw and creep and pull to within a possible set victory here? Team Drew's serving. Thomas Ilara down, Abercrombie not. Drews. That was an attempted pineapple. And cut up by Lauren Page. Thank you very much. We'll take the core out of that, take the rind off, and enjoy a sweet treat for +8 points.
All the food references.
23-19, Team Abercrombie with the lead here, but keep in mind the bigger picture. 48-40 right now. Team Abercrombie as Allison Mayfield checks in. End of the set. Little passing support perhaps for Timmy Thomas Ilara, who has been tremendous. Drews pass, swing. Blocked for the moment. Childress, smart defense. Hilly with the dig. They'll look to Payne, and she will deliver. Drews to 20.
You called it, Kevin. They have to just chip away, find ways to score points, make something happen here at the business end of the set, not the early end.
Erin Ferris checking in again, as she did late in the first. To the outside, the Vanderwater dug by Fairs. Childress. Both teams delivering defensively. Van der Weide, dig, duck, and cover. The kill for Team Abercrombie.
I didn't know we were playing dodgeball out here. Dip, dive, duck. What's the other one?
Dive.
Dive again.
Dip, maybe. There's a repeat in there. There's a repeat of the first set happening right now. Set points for Team Abercrombie. Lauren Page at the line, looking for a big lead headed to the third. Payne, tip, Abercrombie, pick up, Van der Weide for the set. Got it! They close strong in the second set, 25-20. The overall will be 50-41 headed into set three. Looking for the sweep, Abercrombie. Do they have the brooms? Brittany Abercrombie continues to put on a show. Abercrombie through and down. A tattoo issued by Brittany Abercrombie. That is another rip out of the middle back by the captain. Abercrombie's 15th kill finishes this match.
The feeling and emotion of a big kill is pride for my team. Like, I'm more excited for my team that I was able to contribute than I am for myself. Because a lot of times for myself, I expect to get the kill. Like, I just have high expectations for myself and I'm thinking, yeah, it's my job to get kills, so I'm gonna do it. But I'm more excited that we scored another point and that I can help my team win the game.
They've been scoring a lot of points in this one. 50-41 the lead for Team Abercrombie, which means if they score 17 points in this set, they will be victorious in their opening stanza. And if they take this set and they take the overall, that is going to be huge to put a sweep and put 180 team points in their pockets on a Friday night. Brittany Abercrombie, she's got 9 kills, 10 digs, but you feel like she's kind of quiet. She's only hitting 220 because she's been hitting like 400 for the entire league thus far.
Yeah, quiet night for her, but that just tells me she's been doing such a good job of drafting a team around her that she doesn't have to be the go-to. She doesn't have to score every single point. She'll do it. When she gets a good ball and has a good opportunity, like she mentioned, she feels like it's her job. She does it for the pride and for the joy that it brings the rest of her team, but I love that she just doesn't have to do it all alone tonight.
What's this white box for, Key?
We're looking at the blocks here. 9-3. Team Abercrombie has one Molly McCage on her side. She has one Lauren Page. The two of them doing fantastic work, as well as Alicia Childress, who got a couple of them, and that was part of the strategy we talked about with Savannah, saying Childress was drafted not only for her setting skills, but also for her block.
All right, pick your favorite player. Maybe it's Brittany Abercrombie, maybe it's Danny Drews, maybe it's Erin Fairs, maybe it's, I don't know, Key Michael. I don't think they have your jersey, but they do have all the other players in the roster. They have the entire 2024 roster in both youth and adult sizes over at the AU Pro Shop. Check out the online store at shop.auprosports.com. If you can't join us live here in Mesa, Arizona, we'll be at the Arizona Athletic Grounds for another 2 nights on this weekend, and then 2 more. We'll have our crowning of our champion on the final weekend, final Monday of competition. It's Friday, Sunday, Monday. And let's check in with Savannah Collins, who, I don't know, she's been sneaking around, or whose huddle she was in. What's going on, Savannah?
Well, actually, I haven't forgot something that Key said at the beginning of this match. She said, in order for this gold squad to be great, Timmy Thomas Ilara has to be involved, and she has tonight. She's leading this game in kills with 10, and I talked to Alicia Childress about going into this week, what did she need to do to set her up for success? She said 4 hands, so 2 blocks, is okay for Timmy, because she is so good at splitting the box. She's very similar to Betty in that way. She needs a little bit higher ball because of her huge jump, and then she's working on asserting herself as a young player, and man, has that setter set up this O2 for success tonight.
I'll tell you what, if you start putting the ball away, the setter will start coming to you more often. And Johnny on the spot, there it is, and a new way to get a kill. Power and craft.
I love when Savannah makes me feel smart. It doesn't happen that often when I'm sitting next to Kevin, but with Savannah, you know, she recognizes.
Hurtful.
Look, Demi Thomas-Alara is making it look good out there. She was our question mark, and she has answered it, and some. But I love the connection, right? Finding ways to get your team to score. Alicia Childress doing it again. Or not, if that ball was out.
That ball was out.
Stand corrected for once.
Page with the kill this time, right back to her, and a different result.
That's another veteran move from Childress. Choose your player. If she doesn't score, get it to her again. Give her another opportunity. Don't let her spend a few moments kind of mulling over the error. Get her right back in.
Yeah, that's different than shop.auprosports.com, where you can choose your player and definitely you will score some merch. No question about it.
If you were to wear some team merch, some player merch, Kevin, would it be number 5?
How did you know?
I don't think you're the only one. I feel like there's some fans at home that would be repping the number 5.
Isn't that obvious? It could be a little more subtle.
Look, I understand. We all love our middles, you know?
Key, you've ratted me out to the world. I always want to not talk middles. It's just overcompensation. Overhead, the captain looking for hands, not getting them. So we are tied at 3 early days in this third set. Remember how the magic number works. You take the differential between the two teams. So in this case, it was 9. Subtract 1. Okay. And
I'm following you.
And then take that number, which is 8, and subtract it from 25. You find out exactly how many points must be scored by the team that is leading.
We need to get Savannah Collins to do a whiteboard on the magic number and the math behind it.
Well, you can think about
I
it a
can't
couple
visualize.
different ways. You can think about it a couple different ways. We know you don't do math.
I do not.
Listen. All right, here, listen. You have 50 French fries. Okay?
Oh, now I understand.
All right,
Okay.
someone else has 41 cheeseburgers.
Gotcha.
All right.
I'm in it now.
All right. Welcome to the conversation. That ball is out of bounds. Payne said she may have to pick up some slack offensively. Perhaps that comes in this third set. And remember, this team could win the overall. We've had plenty of teams do it. Win one set and win the overall. Team Drews could have a dominant performance here and win those 60 team points. McCage dug for a moment. Do they go right back to her? Lots of space. Nope, short side. Winner.
It was a good question you ask. I probably would have done the same thing Watson did there. Take one step back kind of towards Molly McCage, expecting that second set again because Alicia Childress repeat setted. Past tense of repeat set.
Yeah, you said it someone. It sounds weird, but whatever. There's some heat, a little protection being done by Brittany Abercrombie. Danny Drews came into the weekend in 4th place, played her way there in the last match of last weekend. Touch, Hilly gets it and cannot get enough of it. Payne and everyone else on the purple side.
Again, Demi Thomas-Alara at the center of the play. Someone whose draft stock has rose, will rise again.
We're going to work on the past tense. And a past participle. There's a stuff block. That ball is past tense now, thanks to Thomas-Alara.
I love that she's doing a little bit of everything as well. We're talking about her offense over and over again, but that time now, solo block with Watson in front of her. Excellent finish.
Watson slowed. Nunaviller covers herself. Tough swing here. Trying to chip it. Thomas-Alara, a rare error in attack. That will be her 4th overall, but she's still hitting in the mid-300s.
But there's that strategy coming into play again. Nunaviller going down the line. Gets onto Brittany Abercrombie, so she's not a huge weapon or a threat in the offense. Ball has to go outside.
Karis Watson serving, subbed in for this set. Been a regular starter this year. Hilly picks that one up, and there's nobody home as there are 2 middles out on the floor, which means there are 0 second setters. Yeah, key. Yep.
Oh no.
Painful moment for you.
Come on, middles. He's gonna rip us apart.
Tragedy strikes. 8-6. Remember, it's not going to be enough for Team Drews here in the 3rd set to play close. They're going to have to get up big if they want to take that overall and the 16 points.
That ball looked like it was headed directly into the seam between Van der Weide and Timmy Thomas Alara.
Excellent short serve. Hence for the dig. Captain trying to go deep corner, and one of those things that makes her incredibly difficult to dig. Savannah talked about it earlier. Everything catches the defenders high. She's hitting that back line all the time.
Yeah. Well, when she considers it her job to score, and she's probably figured out over the years, it's a lot easier to score if you aim for the end line, not for the blocker's hands.
Payne working off the hands. I always thought about it as high and hard. With high and hard, good things happen.
Yeah.
Either you do hit that back line, or you get a bounce like Payne got there off the hands. Page gets the delivery that time. Been a little bit of a quiet night for Lauren Page. Her 5th kill on 11 attempts now. I guess it's kind of quiet, but efficient.
I'm trying to think, has the passing been good enough to really utilize her that much?
Well, McCage has 16 attempts, so between them, you've gone 27 attempts in the middle. I'd say that's a pretty decent number. You've gotten 11 kills out of it.
However, if McCage is getting set behind, that slide set is a lot easier to set from a couple steps off the net. So you're still going to get more opportunities to do that, even when the ball's not perfect.
Yeah, good point. And both teams now piling up negative points individually with the service errors. We've seen 4 in just the last few minutes, and that service error will in fact cost you 8 points to your individual score. Lake with the coverage. Payne. Abercrombie stretches out, as does the defense in Nunaviller. Nothing available. Kelsey Payne shuts the door. 12 points for that stuff block.
And again, off of, first of all, exceptional defense here, but look, Abercrombie still on her knees, basically, when Childress is setting. She is basically taking out an entire part of the offense, only 2 attackers available.
Double sub on again for Team Drew. Blossom with the dig. Latham, welcome back to the match, and you get a swing, and you get stuck.
Rejected by Molly McCage again, doing what she does best, which is wait, 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 and pounce.
Drews looking for hands. She got him.
Who was up in the block there? Childress and McCage. Neither one putting up an argument.
First time as captain in 2 years. Last played at Albertino back in 22 as the captain issues an ace there.
That's such a good serve. She's going angle to angle. Look how far over in the corner she is. And then the lefty slices it to the other side of the court.
Latham with a touch, and that's good enough for a stuff. That's going to go down as a block.
So here's why that double sub so effective, right? You want to have the smaller player in the backcourt. You want Latham to take more blocking duties in the front, just like the captain drew it up.
Latham already with a lot more action than last week. Just 2 sets played, 2 kills. And now the service run continues for Drews. She's put some heat on them from the line. 13 apiece. Team Drews has surfed their way back in. 4-point run.
Captain targeting Van de Weider over and over again. Will she go again? Yes, she will. Oh!
Almost got Hentz. A chance here. Tip, nobody home.
Almost got an ace on Hentz as well, so a pretty good run there for the captain.
Here's that out. Taylor Bruns Tegenroot will be checking in. Into serve. Her side up 1. And a block. Childress plus 12. Remember, those individual points are important when you get a big block, something like that. You can send your score skyward as well as your team in the set. Team Abercrombie, 15-13. Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force.
Watch you fly. I'm so high. Let's go. You must be supernatural. Fly, touch the sky.
Team Abercrombie closing in on a potential sweep as well as the overall victory first. Here in the third set, they lead 65-54 and 15-13 in the third. All right, I hope you're enjoying Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball, night number 1, week 3. We're back on Sunday and then Monday. If you want all the information in between and during, be sure and follow AU Pro Volleyball on Instagram to see exclusive content featuring your favorite AU players, including highlights, mic'd ups, behind the scenes, and more.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that Brittany Abercrombie is on the verge of getting her 7th win in a row, if I've done my math correctly. What does surprise me is she's not having to carry the whole load. Molly McCage at 10 points, Tammy Thomas, Ilara with 15 points. Abercrombie is just kind of just one piece in the puzzle of this week.
Her draft setup is looking smart. She's Key Michael, the Olympian. I'm Kevin Barnett. Savannah Collins is on the sidelines, and Savannah was in with Team Drews in that last time out as they try and make a push for this set. Savannah.
You know, earlier in the match when I was listening into the Team Drew's huddle, they talked about how, hey, we're not giving them anything. But this time, that was one of the major concerns. One of the things that Aaron Ferris called out is every single time that the gold team is out of system and doesn't have a great swing, they're putting it on our setter. We have to do the same thing. We can't give them anything right now to stay in this match where they said, hey, let's play confident, let the score go, and let's try and have fun these last couple of points and see if we can come back in this thing.
Confident swing from Becca Latham on the right-hand side there. The 6'4" opposite who's in as part of the double sub with Gabby Blossom in the back row. A couple points away here are Team Abercrombie from a potential 60 team points for everyone involved. Karis Watson to serve. Side out, taken, and we are at a match point for Team Abercrombie. Ball in the net, second opportunity to close that overall here in the middle of the third set. Double sub unwound. Payne back in, Hilly back in. Payne left front, Hilly to serve.
Yep, keeping the setter backcourt.
Difficult pass, saved. Page keeps it going. Gunaviller. Good touch by the block. Can they convert it? No. Thomas Alar into the net. Third chance for the overall. And now in this set, you're looking at a 16-16 tie. Remember, that's the 40 points that are available there. So hugely important points for Team Drew. Abercrombie got just enough of it. It goes out of bounds. They have 17 on the board, and they will win the overall and go plus 60 on their team points. Everyone getting 60 points for the overall victory. And that's because there aren't enough points available in the set anymore. Even if they scored them all straight in a row, for the women clad in purple, they are down 10 with only 9 remaining.
Well, that's a simple way to put it. That explains it.
Yeah, but you can only get to it at this point in the set, right? So here's the intrigue now. Does Drew salvage with a 40 points and some team points, or do you get a sweep and an incredible start to the weekend for Team Abercrombie? Wow, that's going to cut into it a little bit. Kathy and Payne have Team Drew's back in the lead.
Hello, Kathy. Welcome back. She has been one of the go-to blockers, one of my favorite blockers to watch all season long, but so quiet tonight. That's her first block.
Yeah, Kathy now with 20, and McCage has passed her in the overall chase with 22. That ball too far outside. Drew's better opportunity. Chipping off of Abercrombie, who comes away disgusted. The lead 2 for Drews.
Disgusted.
Yeah. Sad, angry, perplexed. Befuddled.
Mainly disgusted.
Yes. Unhappy. Right back to her. And she takes it out on the ball.
Speaking of disgusting, the way that she swings and scores 99% of the time is absolutely disgusting in the best possible way.
This is our second match. Currently 68-60 overall decided. The final score is just undecided. Everything else has been. And then you go to the set value right here, and that's what everyone's playing for, those 40 team points. 19-18 lead for Team Drews. In our first match, De La Cruz Mejia went 72-64. Got 140 team points in the process. Payne goes over the top. She'll collect 8 individual points for that kill.
Payne's another player that's been more defensive than offensive. 3 blocks to only 7 kills for the opposite.
Abercrombie this time a little bit sharper.
She really is in a league of her own in terms of scoring ability from any ball. Even when it doesn't look perfect, even when it's just flung up in the air. her height combined with her athleticism, combined with her shots and her wrist angles.
Overhead paint. Nunaviller got enough of it. Backslide by Cage winner. A little extra on the celebration.
Molly said it right. She loves hitting off of Alicia Childress' set. And you can see it there, how good it feels to get that connection between the two of them. It's looking good.
20 apiece. Race to 5, win by 2. For the 40 team points. Could be for a straight sweep. But Cage, not this time. Van de Weyde, one-on-one. Got it.
I just keep watching Alicia Childress' sets. And again, her setting choices. So she goes back to McCage, doesn't score. Then she's kind of opening up on the outside. She's really kind of pulling that string, playing cat and mouse with the blockers.
That ball bouncing around the block will stay alive. Hilly outside to Drews, who goes over the top and out of bounds. Doesn't get a touch, doesn't get the ball called in, but she will immediately call for a challenge. Since she is the captain, she can just go right to it. No need to ask anyone else or convince anyone else. For the moment, 22-20.
And does it with a smile.
Yeah.
It was a very polite request for a challenge.
Asking if anyone had any grapes or if she could get a challenge.
Why grapes? Purple?
Yeah, no. Well, that's a good call too. But there's an old kid's book about a duck wandering up asking if someone has any grapes. Might be a little inside bit.
How old are how old's your son?
They're older now.
Still reading the
They
books to them?
are adults.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes. What do you think, Key? You've seen it go by a couple of times. Unsuccessful.
Yeah.
No soup for you, Danny Drews.
That one I get.
Okay.
That one I get.
Finally, Key.
Finally one that doesn't go over my head.
We're back in the zone. 22-20, third set. Kevin Barnett, Olympia Key Michael, Savannah Collins, sideline. How quickly will a conclusion come? Boy, just inside the block, they got the dig. Is that high enough? That's a little too high, that one. That would have been good up in Wisconsin. A little more ceiling available. All right, 22-21. Payne to the back row. Hilly, right front. Where do you go? Oh, cleverly done by the veteran.
Harris Watson can't seem to catch a break in this match. Alicia Childress just pulling strings on all over the place.
Drews into the antenna. That's going to be no good. No disputing that one. We will be at a set point. This a 180 team point ball here. Long distance winner for Drews. Second sweep point. Where do you go? You got McCage. Timmy Thomas Ailar has had a hot night. You have a front row setter. What do you do, Key?
I go McCage.
Okay. Have to pass.
Nope.
Thomas Ailar to close. No. No, no, no. Third sweep ball, and you have to get it here. You're going extra time if you're Team Abercrombie.
And Drews again, gotta go back to Van de Weyde. That keeps on working.
The captain's in the back row. Does she come up the pipe for the winner here? She did, but it didn't go down. Second chance. Ball too tight. To tie. Yes. Let's play a little extra.
impressed at how Drew's side hasn't really paid attention to the score. They don't seem like they're looking at the fact that Abercrombie was on set point, match point there. Drew's just going back casually, comfortable, relaxed, just serving down that zone to Van de Weyder. And then the team just playing ball.
Drew's still in line. Can they play 2 more points worth of ball? Get themselves 40 team points. Stay off that sweep. Good pass. Middle. Dug by Lake. Making plays. Putting balls away. They held off 3 set points, 3 sweep points. They've run 4 in a row to get their own set point the other way. Purple toughening up.
If I'm not mistaken, that was Nunneviller's second point only in this third set. 2 kills.
All right, Abercrombie is looking for a net violation, maybe, and maybe also to slow down the momentum that has been on Team Drew's side. They do still have 2 timeouts, but this is one way to slow it down.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we're all kind of looking around going, what's this challenge for? Oh, that's what it's for. Extra time. This challenge is probably nine times out of 10 just because they want a little momentum shift.
Yeah, that's going to be the ball skipping through the tape there. Karis Watson well off the net. I don't expect this to take too long for our referee crew, who've done an outstanding job tonight, trading off R1 and R2 with the different matches. Lena Gustafson and Rachel Rodriguez. Gustafson currently in the R2. And if you want a chance to win a volleyball autographed by all the AU Pro Volleyball athletes, you can. You can get a chance by going to auprosports.com/enter to register today. Danny Drew's signature will be on there, as will everyone else's. The gold side celebrated as though they had won that, and then they realized they didn't. A rather surreal moment there. All right. The challenge not confirmed for Team Abercrombie, and thus we arrive at a set point for Danny Drews and the Purple People Eaters. It's an old Vikings reference. Here we go. There's McCage. Dug by Drews. Nunaville blocked by McCage. Saving the set.
Molly McCage back in the house, back in her house. Big stuff block there on the finish. That ball's dying inside. She knows it. She and Glass are, well, Childress, excuse me, closed up so early. Not really anywhere Nunaviller could go.
5th block for number 5. None bigger than that one. Bruins taking it into serve, and it's too long. We'll go back to set point. They'll have to have some more heroics here. And this time it will be Lauren Page in the front row. So now you have Page and Temi Thomas Ilara. Where do you go? Alicia Michael.
I think she's probably going to go Abercrombie.
All right, Abercrombie. She could go fully to the D ball here. Keep Page in front. The long distance for the captain. Van de Weyder fights it off. It is the captain. Dug by Drews. Out of the back row, number 1 tips right to Temi Thomas Ilara. Who misses? They hold off 3 sweep points to get 40 team points and celebrate at the end a 27-25 set victory, but they do lose the overall with a final score of 75-68 for the other side. So 140 team points going to Team Abercrombie. Nice little bit of fight out of Team Drews at the end there, Keith Michael.
Yeah, I like that they stepped on the gas in set 3. They didn't look like they were really aware of the score at all, just kept playing consistently with some tough serving. You got to get that redemption set But for Team Abercrombie, their serving strategy, or excuse me, drafting strategy for Abercrombie paying dividends. She herself having to be the top scorer with 16 points, but Temi Thomas-Alara, the one question mark we had, would she step up? She absolutely 1000% did. Had 15 points to deliver on the other side of the net, or the other side of the court from her captain. Also Molly McCage, big defensive player. That was an all-around balanced performance that we've come to expect from Abercrombie's teams.
All right, Thomas-Alara with 13 kills in this match, and you mentioned how important you thought she was coming in. You nailed it, Key Michael.
Well, you kind of had to have someone else step up in that role. Abercrombie herself is always going to put balls away, but the question was, will she be the only one? And the answer, absolutely not. Temi Thomas-Alara with some creative ways as well. We're seeing a few different ways to score that tip there, and then going between the hands of the blockers. Just looking really confident and stepping into that role, doing everything she was asked.
She stepped into that role, and now she stepped into the interview box with Savannah Collins.
Temi, what a night, 13 kills. Where did that confidence come from to step into this game and be an offensive leader for this team tonight?
I think it just came from the girls. They were supporting me all throughout the week. Alicia was giving me great sets. I think defense was just on tonight. Serve receive was great, and everything just kind of worked out in our favor.
Was there someone or something in particular leading up to this match throughout the week at practice that just really instilled this comfortability that we saw from you?
I think Dave is a great facilitator. He helped me a lot in my passing, and all the girls were just super supportive. I was in there for extra reps, and they were serving at me, which really helped me with my confidence back there.
For you to be able to really take on this leadership role in a team in week 3, how does that feel about where you are in your Athletes Unlimited journey, being a newcomer and really finding your footing here?
It was really exciting. It's been really fun. The girls are awesome. I'm just really excited to be here.
Thank you. Congratulations on a great game, Temi. Appreciate you. I'm joined by the setter, Alicia Childress. Alicia, you had 5 different players in double-digit swing attempts tonight. How fun is that for you as a setter?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think in any given moment, anybody can score, and I just want to make sure everybody's feeling the love, and we're having a lot of fun.
You went to your middles 31 times, Molly McCage 20 times, Lauren Page 11. How were you able to get them involved in the offense?
I thought the passers did a really nice job weathering the storm. They're a good serving team, and I thought they held up really well against their toughest servers. And so I think if we're passing well, we're setting the middles a lot. It opens it up for everybody else.
As the captain of the ship, when it comes to running this offense, what did you learn about the group and the strengths you can carry into the rest of the week?
I think this team is really composed. I think we didn't get rattled. We were really focused on what we needed to do next and like being on the next play. And so I think it showed, and they would have runs, and we just kind of weathered the storm and stayed strong.
Thanks, Alicia. Appreciate it. Kevin, back to you.
Inside from Team Abercrombie, let's take you into the game with Danny Drews and what it was like to be on that side.
Oh, hello, hey fans. Hey Christian. I'm too shy. Nice ball. Woohoo! Boom! What a swing, so good. Keep spiking that thing. We are crushing this warm-up. Hey guys. Sorry about hitting you with the pipe. Nice, Kayla, so good. Okay, right here, let's keep working one at a time. High to the middle, any off speed, any coverage, any free ball. Like, I mean, free ball, let's be perfect, but play it high in the middle so we can all transition out of it. Yes! Good ball. Nice job. Great job. Nice job. Gabby, what is set? Great defense. Nice block, Kayla. Good job. Spikers on 3 on purple. Spiker.
That's some big captain energy coming out of Danny Drews. The same smile we saw in the warm-ups is the same smile we saw in that 3rd set. And for me, that's what pushed her team to get that little bit of a comeback at the end. Great energy and great vibes.
And a look at our leaderboard now as we've checked in with both of the matches complete. MVPs are still going to be dropping in for match number 2. Brittany Abercrombie did get back up and over Betania De La Cruz, but look at that number 4 spot.
And Manami Kojima could be drafting herself if all things were to stay in this position by the end of the week. Oh, that'd be so fun to see who she would pick.
In the third set, it was a comeback performance. They fought off 3 sweep points, did Team Drews, to keep themselves hovering on the leaderboard. Those team points hugely important. Danny Drews still in there at number 5 currently, but a lot of volleyball left to be played on this weekend. Will the women in purple experience more big captain energy? We will see. With BCE on Sunday, maybe. Key. Athletes Unlimited Pro Volleyball continues Sunday, 4 Eastern, right here on Valley Sports. For Key Michael, Savannah Collins, and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Barnett. Thanks for watching. The final in this one, Abercrombie 75, Drews 68.